Hello, I'm Steph from iDriver Classic and we're back down at ADO Restoration in Halifax where we're working on Speedy the Standard 10, trying to get her ready for the NEC Classic Motor Show 2024. And we're now less than, I think, about 3 weeks away. Essentially, we need to be driving this pretty quickly or we're not going to have any idea what it's like before we get to the NEC. Now, I know that plenty of you have been asking me to start the engine. They're like, Steph, what does it sound like? Because I've never really heard a Standard 10. Well, guess what? I've not really heard this one either because there's a little matter that I raised in the first video that the head gasket is believed to have gone. Now, I say believed because this was the information given to me by the seller and he said, I think it's gone between 3 and 4. So that's fine. We've walked in knowing this exact information. So in today's video, we're going to show you how to compression test your vehicle. If you've never done it before, I'm going to get Paul to talk about that in just a second. I should probably introduce Paul as well. Very rude of me. Sorry, Paul. And then we're going to take the head off and see if it really is the head gasket or there's something more sinister. Now, we are waiting for the parts to arrive, so we won't be reassembling today, but this is all a bit of a fact-finding mission because if we find something truly horrendous when that head comes off, we've still got a little bit of wiggle room to try and get it sorted. So I'm going to introduce you to Paul. This is Paul. He also works at ADO Restoration, and I'm laughing because he has been forced into helping on this as well. Although he says he's willing, but I bet he'd rather be doing something else on his Friday night. So Paul, tell us how we compression test a vehicle.
So we use this.
Are you going to introduce the item?
It is a compression test gauge.
Brilliant.
So we plug that into the spark plug holes. We wind the engine over.
Yep.
With the throttle wide open. It gives us a reading. And they all should be roughly similar.
Okay.
And I don't think they're going to be on this one. So
how will we know if the head gasket's gone? Will it be very low on cylinders?
Yeah, I mean, usually if it's gone, you would get sort of maybe 3 readings that were similar and then 1 that wasn't, or 2 similar and 2 that were very low.
Okay.
So we can try it and see.
Right, let's get us started. Do you know what? This is a great opportunity for me to show you how this car starts. So, by the way, for me to do this all properly for Paul, I have to turn the key and then it's a pull start in this. So just pull this. I realise that's not the proper pull start, but look, it's an £850 car and I've got to put my foot down on the throttle at the same time. So you ready? Are you ready, Paul?
I'm ready.
And what's our reading?
120.
Not bad. I like to turn these things off because, in case you didn't know this, you can actually burn the coil out if you leave the key on. And I've always had the fear of God put into me, and people are like, just turn the key straight off. So I always do it. So once we've got the nod from Paul, just give us a tap on the bonnet when you want us to do it again.
Okay, just a minute.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one we're testing cylinder 2. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
110.
110. Okay, that's good. So moment of truth then is going to be on number 3. Now I'm going to pass the camera over to Ed and we'll go and see what Paul's doing.
Okay.
And we're off.
And we've got about 25.
No.
That's
Great.
not so good.
I wasn't doubting the head gasket forecast, but it sounds like it probably is right. Right, on to the last one, number 4.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Right, what's the prognosis, Paul?
The head gasket's gone, which is no surprise, is it?
Love it. By the way, can I just say, if you're looking at a standard 10 and you are a person with a larger body, these doors open so much wider than a minor 4-door. Because when I was a big gal and I used to try and squish myself in and out of a 4-door minor, it was like trying not to rip a crimpling dress. But these are enormous. And you get to sit down and swivel your legs in. I know that's not the point of this video, but have it anyway. Right, what are we doing next, Paul?
We're going to take the cylinder head off.
So I've been dismantling this section. What are you doing, Paul?
I'm going to take the carburettor and the exhaust manifold off.
Okay. As you can probably see in here, there is loads of room to work in this engine bay. And I've often said this, that I love a car where you get loads of room to work. This is one of the reasons that, probably shouldn't say this, but the Mini is not as appealing to me because there's just less room. Also, putting on those overriders is just misery. We're going to give Paul some light. Paul, what are we doing now?
We're just disconnecting the choke cable. I've done the throttle cable, and then we can take the exhaust manifold clamp
Yeah.
off the bottom, and then the whole manifold will come off with these bolts along there.
And for anybody doing this at home, how much time should they give to take a cylinder head off? One of these, anyway.
Probably an hour and a half. Probably you would get that off quite easily.
Perfect. Well, let's hope we get that off a little bit quicker. Got a curry waiting for me at home. As you probably see there, the water is gently bubbling away. We did discover, can you see that at home? Hold on. See, there's a tap down there, but it was all feeling a bit brittle, so we thought, let's not chance it, because let's not create 10 more problems while we're trying to do stuff. Now, both of them are just plugging away. How are we getting on, Paul?
Yeah, it seems so. It's coming away.
I feel like that awful middle manager that'd be like, how's everyone getting on whilst
Yeah.
contributing 0 to the project themselves? That is very much me tonight. Right, I'm going to put this camera down and I'm going to do some little bits myself. Right, moment of truth. We're going to take this radiator out. Oh, it's a tight fit. Look at this, Ed.
It doesn't look very brilliant there, does it?
Oh, but look how close you have to get to the fan. Come in, Ed. See if you can see. God, this could... You've got to be careful here. Am I going to be able to get that around the fan? Oh, it's catching on the tap now at the bottom. So if we take the fan off, no.
There you go.
God, that's a tight fit. Okay, so this is what we're playing with. Come down and have a look at this. It's not amazing, is it? But it wasn't leaking, which I think is really important to say. I think it's one of those things. Oh, look at that. Can you see that on the camera? How cute is that? Look, Coventry Radiator and Presswork Company. Canley Works Coventry, which is obviously where they would have been produced. I wonder if, see what I mean? It's just a bit... I think it's one of those, it's like it's not great, but it can wait. So I'm going to put this to one side, just over here. I've commandeered this area of the workshop without asking absolutely anybody, just to chuck all my stuff in. Okay, so say that's really the only thing that we've discovered. It's not bad. See if you can come down into the engine bay and you can see just how solid it is inside there. If you have a look, because it was quite hard to see before we got the radiator out, but you can kind of see that really it's not bad at all. There's not oil spray, but right, we continue on.
Hang on. Yeah, hang on. Yeah. Yep. Ready. Okay.
As I rag this dynamo off, Paul, what are you doing over there?
I'm just taking the carburetor and the inlet and exhaust manifold off.
Nice. How's it looking? Oh.
Well, it doesn't look too bad.
Walk us through. Tell us what you're thinking.
What, me?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it all looks pretty good, really. But we'll find out when we get inside.
Very true.
So I'm going to take the head off next.
Okay. Big moment.
Once you have got that out of the way.
Well, so just twirling this bolt off of the dynamo.
So I just want to have a look inside, make sure everything's in good condition.
Okay.
And that the thermostat is recent and not 70 years old.
Do we have an on thermostat?
I ordered one.
That's all right then. Right, come on then, Paul. Moment of truth.
Well.
It's about the same colour as my hair. That's nice.
Yeah, I don't think that's... We'll test it and see whether it's any good.
Okay.
I think we've ordered a new one anyway.
For the uninitiated, do you want to talk about how you test a thermostat?
Yes. You put it into a jar of hot water and see if it opens.
Brilliant.
So boiling water, see if it opens.
Things I know people think stuff like that is really simple, but if you don't say it, no one's ever going to know, are they? Ta-da! We're going to take the push rods out now, and of course there are 8 of them, which means you need to keep them in the order that they've come out of. We've talked about this before in various engine videos. So essentially when you're doing this at home, just get a piece of cardboard and just number them up so you know where you're taking them out of, and then just bang them in the cardboard. Job's a good one. Because you don't want to mix them up because it can create problems later. Hey, nice one. Well done. You there?
Is that stuck? Is that
What
catching?
is sticking now?
We've got some light. I think it's that pipe there. I think
Is it sticking? No.
that isn't going to come past. No, it doesn't have to come past there. It has to come past here. But
Try it.
can you pull on the front again? And I'll.
Yeah. Right, I'm pulling on the front. Oh.
Yeah, is it catching on that pipe?
I
Yeah.
can't,
Oh, you've done it.
I can't work out where it's catching.
Yeah, you've done it, I think. That's it.
It's catching the back.
There we go.
Right. Into the bucket you go. Right, that is balancing at the moment.
Yeah, you got it.
Ish, not very well.
Let me move that.
Do you want me to?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, ready for the lift off? I mean, I'm probably useless at this point. There you go. Oh, hey! Oh! Oh!
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. It's like burnt right through. Can you get in there, Ed, and have a look? Look, it's there. It has completely gone. So I'll take this gasket off and people will be able to see. I hope that's not gone and done the blooming blocking. Because it did that once to my Morris Minor. Oh, has it? No. I think we're actually quite safe on this. But you'll be able to see there, look, as we lift it off. Can you see there, the break in the gasket? That's mad, that. At least it is what we think it is, and it's not something. It's a bit. Looks all right. Obviously, we'll clean all this up anyway. But yeah, there's your culprit for the low compression. Good job. There's another one coming, I guess. But. We've all done a head gasket. This isn't going to be too bad. What do you think? I think it looks all right between those two.
We'll have to clean it all up,
Yeah.
and then we can put a straight edge across it,
Right.
and see if it's all still flat
Okay.
within reason. Same with the head. So if we've got a guy upstairs that can machine that for us, if that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Do you know, I didn't even think about the head. Hold on. Yeah, is that one? Oh, actually,
There is a mark. Yeah.
there is a mark. There is a ridge. You can feel it.
Yeah.
How thick are your gloves that are on? Come and have a look at this if you can at home. You see there, just there. Yeah, you can see that quite evidently on the camera. Ugh. As we say, there is a man upstairs who can do it. Callum Barrow, absolute hero. That'll have to go and see him if needs be, but there is very little that isn't fixable. Although I did once have a block that actually went through so badly with the head gasket and it looked exactly like this. It took a massive chunk out between the cylinders and I had to scrap the block, which was what I was slightly frightened of when I started pulling this off. I thought, what on earth am I going to find? But it looks fixable. Right, let's dry it out and try and get a better idea of what's going on. Do you all know what a starting handle is? I imagine the vast majority of you do, but for those of you that are younger, you may never have experienced a starting handle, but after years of driving a Morris Minor with an absolutely awful battery, I became a real dab hand at starting with these. And you've got to be careful when you use a starting handle because if they kick back, they can take your thumb out and you can end up with a broken thumb. So just be really careful. And the reason we're turning this round is so we can get all the water out of the engine. So can you see that? Just there. Obviously there's no compression, so I don't need to worry about knocking my thumbs out at the moment, but I just wanted to show you that that's how we did it. Also, this is really embarrassing to admit, I didn't know the car had a starting handle until I saw somebody talking about the starting handle in one of the groups, and I thought, I don't have a starting handle. I haven't seen a hole for one. But what I didn't realise was this massive chrome bumper here hides it. Look, it's really discreet down here. So it has got one. So yet again, in 2024, I am driving a car with a starting handle. What a modern life I'm living. But I'll tell you what, if the dynamo is ever a bit iffy, you can start a car on a handle so easily. So actually, for all the jokes, they are a really good thing to have. Right, let's crack on. With approximately one piece of paper to my name for this car, I know very little about it. So I don't know if the miles on that clock are genuine or not. Looking at that engine, shall I have a look what it is? I think it's somewhere around 50k. I don't think that's right. Although the seats are in quite good nick. It's on, oh, is that 50 or 60? 5596. Paul, you've been engine building since the dawn of time.
Thank you.
That's okay. What do you think of this engine? Do you think it looks about right? Do you think it looks way over that mileage? You're good for stuff like this.
Well, didn't we think that this engine was out of a later car?
Yeah, so I think this engine got put in later. Now, the reason I think this is because somebody said it's the high compression Gold Star engine, which gets put in later on in the 1950s. So I think it gets put in stuff like the Pennant or whatever. I'm not enough of a geek yet on standards. I've only got a few little tidbits, but give me a year and honestly, I'll be able to bore you silly at any dinner party. So, what do you think? Do you think
I think it's in reasonable condition.
Yeah, okay.
I think obviously apart from that fault, that all the valves look good. They look quite high in the head.
Right.
There's not a lot of bore wear.
Okay.
You know, it's not very lipped on the bores. So, yeah, my guess is that it's probably a replacement engine, but it's in good condition.
It could be an engine out of anything at this stage, Paul, and if it's in good condition, that is the news I wish to receive. Quick question, what are we going to do next? Because I know we're still waiting for the head gasket to drop into the post box. What are we going to do about checking this block and this head? Because I guess we'll do it in the next episode, but what are we going to do? Because man upstairs has gone home. It is quite late on in the evening. We've all got homes to be at. It is a Friday night. What are we doing next week?
We'll probably take the studs out, clean the head surface.
Yeah.
Make sure it's flat.
Yeah.
The block surface, sorry.
Yeah.
Same with the head. We have a feeling that that's not flat anyway, so we'll get the man upstairs to do the skimming, and then hopefully the parts will arrive and we can put it back together. Brilliant.
Okay, and then hopefully we'll be able to let you listen to the engine start. I'm really excited because the only time I've heard it is when it got started to move it out of the garage that Steve had it in, and it was misfiring like anything. And I said, you know what, let's not start it again because we don't know what's wrong. And when something like that's going on, you just want to find out what's wrong, because the more times you start it, the longer it runs, the more damage you do, and it's just not good for the engine. So I'm pleased we've got that sorted. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Paul, and Ed, obviously, who's doing a bit of filming and has done a few of the dirty jobs as well. It's so appreciated. Roll on the next session.
Yeah, let's see how we get on.
But for you guys at home, take care and drive safely.